Okay.
Are we live?
Lekker, we are live. So.
Lekker.
Have you ever seen a camera before?
I
With cameras is I used to know how to sell them and not use them.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everybody. Lekker to be here. Obviously for those who doesn't know us, but everybody does. My name
Everybody
is
should.
AD, and this is Lincoln next to me. Yeah.
What's the reason for tonight's here again?
I don't know, Lincoln. I know we discussed it way before we were gonna do it, and we planned it. Who's gonna say what and what's gonna happen? But I think we're just gonna go with the spirit here. I think we can both just agree on the fact that we can cook sober another day.
Another day, yeah. Oh yes, no, you were sober here today, no?
Am I okay? Thank you for reminding
Nah,
me. because
congratulations,
Thank you
brother,
very
man.
much.
Nah.
But 1 year doesn't make a swallow like a still
Nah,
always
it
says.
doesn't, yeah.
Lekker, yeah, we're just gonna wait for a couple of more people to come on live. But thank you to everybody that is listening. Thank you for the support that's out there. Thank you for what RAEL stands for, obviously. Me and Lincoln, hello Jama, hello Ura, you're right Ura. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the wave. Hey DJ, salute. Away. Yeah, me and Lincoln discussed that we're just gonna speak on our experience on what broken service means and how we got through it and to the point that we got to as we were here. I told Lincoln that he's gonna speak most of the time because most of the time I'm talking. I wanna listen for now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Even though it's my milestone, Lincoln, because we both know you like the camera more and you like to be more in control.
Yes.
These are some things we can't control
Yes.
at the moment.
Nah, I like this, you know. It's like, come on, I like it.
Gladwin, do you remember when me and Lincoln came in here the first month? That talkie that we were building there next to the what was it there by the cage?
By the
no?
cage, yeah. by the
That
cage.
is correct. The
The
duck
duck
pond.
pond.
Do you remember how you were laughing for that? Tell us now to build a duck pond, man.
Hey.
Then you will see the difference. Evening, Dion. Thank you very much for joining us. Evening. Thank you.
So I'm gonna start off here with just a basic broken service, you know, a message that we want to send to people that that's been in that started rehab and has fell off the wagon for whatever the reason may be. AD celebrates his 1 year today. I celebrated my 1 year yesterday. By the grace of God, we are both sober today, 24 hours apart. I saw this man walking by the door, woken up by an alarm, the house alarm, by the way, because he decided to walk to RAEL and come walking in here at about 11:30 at night. So obviously Mr. Wall decides to let the house alarm go off and for this man 80 and you know, coming into that meeting, I think that was also an eye opener for me. 24 hours on at RAEL, and you see a newcomer walk in. Most of the times we weeks apart, months apart, but yeah, we're 24 hours apart, which is very and you know, as we started our program, we got to know each other a little bit and came to realize, you know, we're from the same areas, from the southern suburbs of Cape Town.
Yeah.
Lifestyles are pretty much the same, did pretty much the same drugs, did pretty much the same things, and we also came to realize that we both have broken service.
Yes.
Both previously on the farm of RAEL. I myself have been on the farm 8 years ago. 80, I'm not sure what was yours, a year, 2 years ago, no?
17 months.
And you know, it took me 8 years to come back to the farm. It took 83 weeks to but that's the point that we're trying to make, you know. For not everybody's process is the same, you know. For some people it takes longer, for some people they hit it a lot quicker. So I just want to go
Okay, we're gonna talk louder now, Clutchy.
can you hear me, Clutchy?
Because Clutchy needs to
Clutchy, you need an upgrade on your phone,
surround
eh?
sound, you need an upgrade, sir. Tanner, Biggie and Tank, they're busy with recovery now at the moment, sir. But they are around, they are listening.
Yeah, so you know, after when I left the farm 8 years ago, for myself, I got everything back in my life that like you say, that was promised to me, man. All the material things that I got, I built myself up strong financially. I got a job again. I bought myself a motorbike. Everything was going well, man. it was going so well that after about 2.5 years, I convinced myself easily that if I pick up drugs this time, I'll be able to control it. Man. Do you know what I mean? Because I was a person, I used on emotion. I used drugs on emotion, good emotions, bad emotions. You gonna comment on the?
I'm reading the comments.
What?
Yeah.
So I was
I
a
did
person.
it again, yeah.
I was a person. I used on good emotions and bad emotions, man. And when things was going extremely well for me, I I always had a sense to reward myself. Now this is what I found to be the problem with me all the time when I left the treatment center, was that I reach a milestone like 1 year, or I reach a milestone like even 3 months, 6 months. I was a person known in the NA rooms as a serial relapser. You know what I mean? A serial relapser. I mean,
Yo.
because
It's an award, my bro.
I would stay clean for a month. Hey, you know, you get your 1 month chip,
You
liquor,
clean,
everybody
yeah.
clap liquor,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then tomorrow you see me again with a just for today.
Just for today.
I'm
Yeah.
just for today.
I
So,
probably went to one meeting, the Lincoln, speaking of it, key tags, and they had to give out all the key tags to me. That they told me, nah, they don't have any more key
they
tags.
must come ask you for
And I
key
must
tags
come
for the
on.
newcomer.
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everybody watching. There's also a lot of my extended family also going live tonight. I would also, while I'm online, you know, to send my thanks to the family who supported me through this year, man. It's been an okay year. You know, I had my ups, I had my downs, and I've come through it now strongly, I believe. Um, yeah, so back to the broken service. What happened to me after I left treatment 8 years ago was I found myself lost in loneliness. Now these are the things that creep up, and
Richie, baby.
when you don't have a program and you don't continue to work a program, and this is how you fall back on the
Thanks, Leslie.
on the wagon. You know, I had to deal with a lot of frustrations, a lot of loneliness. My spiritual life I pushed aside. Things that my foundation that I got on the farm, I put one side because things was going so liquor. So I convinced myself, you know, I don't need to do these things anymore, and that's what ended up that I relapsed. Um, After I picked up drugs again, it didn't take me long before I lost everything. I lost my motorbike, I lost my job.
Is it the same motorbike you fell off from?
Yes. I actually got two motorbikes. I bought my first motorbike, and then I was conned into my second motorbike.
That's correct. We all cons, Richie. Love you, miss you, my bro. You must come visit us.
I was conned into my second motorbike, and shortly after that, I found myself back on the self-destructive, just back on the spiral, back on the manipulation, back on the stealing, back on all the negative things, man. And that's when I realized, you know what, it's not the problem that was with me was my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Things was going lekker for me, but I didn't want to leave the oudskap, the old roekerskap lifestyle. You know what I mean? I still wanted to go back to my old friends. I still wanted to do the things that they were doing, because part of my using, there was fun times as well, man. I'm not gonna lie, some of them was fun, but most of it was not liquor.
Yeah.
So the answers was very simple for me, man. Change the lifestyle, change the problems. You know what I mean? So with the change of lifestyle, and this is what I've learned now in this year, is that I need to take onto recovery as a lifestyle, not just a fly by night. You know, I can do this part or selective recovery. I can't just do what I feel is gonna work for me.
You're gonna talk
I
louder,
have to do
Richie.
everything. I have to do everything in order for the program to work. Yeah, Richie. Hey, one of the managers on the farm, one of the first people I actually met when I came back on the farm, because Mr. wasn't here that day.
For a beachy.
And you know, I walked in here and I'm like, who's this guy? Who's all these new faces?
Richie so.
You know, who's all these new faces? And this is also something that you'll pick up if, you know, the message that I want to bring is to the person that's been in rehabilitation, has relapsed, and is scared to come back.
Correct.
to
Yeah.
rehabilitation again, man. You know, there's nothing wrong with coming back. There's nothing wrong to have the title of broken service. You know what I mean? Service is service, man. You still have a message to carry to someone that is using. If you have a message to carry of not using, if that makes sense. So I just want to give you a brief, what can I say? I just want to give you a build up of my last week of using before I came into RAEL, which got me back into the doors of RAEL and what brought me back here. A lot of people know my story because I have told it online again, but I want to say it again. You know, the home environment that I was living in was not conducive. Family, not for my son that I was trying to raise. I was unhappy.
Venus lost, Clutchy.
I had no confidence. I was untrustworthy, and you know, it was a difficult pill for me to swallow, man. That I have to come back to RAEL after 8 years. You know, I didn't know what to expect when I got here. Even though I knew the rules, I knew Mr. Wall's expectations. I knew what the program was about basically, but there was obviously a lot of changes. I mean, 8 years, a lot changes in 8 years. Shit, a lot changes in 24 hours.
Correct,
a lot
sir.
changed in a year for myself and
Correct,
for you.
sir, and for me.
You know. So a year and 24 hours ago, I was sitting in a jail cell. And I think about, and I go, sitting in a jail cell, and I remember, I always tell Mr. Wall, you know, sitting in a jail cell, I was cursing Mr. Wall because Mr. Wall told me 8 years
Lekker,
ago.
Richie. I'm glad it's looking good in wrestling. Sorry, the linky.
No problem. 8 years ago, he told me that if you ever get arrested, right, make sure you have a phone number to phone. Make sure you have someone to phone, a friend to phone that can pay your bail, and they can just help you out, man. Maybe with something to eat or something like that. While you're there, you know, you don't know.
Or a ShopRite voucher.
Or ShopRite voucher, or airtime, or something. You know, something that's gonna make you survive in prison. And I sat there, and the only two people's numbers I could think of was my parents. And here's the ironic thing about it is that my parents put me in jail. So I couldn't phone my parents, you know. I was arrested for my mother opened a case up against me for stealing curtains. That's the joke on the farm. I stole the curtains. And
That's amongst the other things he took, man. Not just the curtains.
Correct. That was
That's only one of it.
Of the long list of things. And you know, I have to be thankful to my mother for opening up that case. You know, the night before I got arrested, it was a Thursday night. I got arrested the Friday morning.
Lekker, Richie, keep for me so I'll bring my ice cream tub.
So I got arrested the Friday morning. The Thursday night, you know, I had no plans of recovery. And this is also the message I want to send to the person that is relapsed. You know, once you pick up the drugs, the last thing on your mind is recovery, because all you want to do is use more. And the night before I got arrested, you know, I was still thinking to myself, you know what, the police was here, they took statement, my mother's statements and things like that, and once again I got away with it. Once again I was able to manipulate or deceive or just once again I got away with it. Until the next morning, I got a knock on my bedroom door to say, look here, the police is here, they want to see you. And went to the jail cells, whatever, got arrested, went to the holding cells. And
Thanks God, proud of you also.
And that's when the reality struck for me, man. I've had so many chances in life. I've had so many opportunities that I've wasted. I have no idea what lies ahead of me until I got to the courtroom and then the magistrate told me, look here, you need to make a decision. Either go to Paulsmoor for 30 days or get sent or serve your time out at RAEL for 2 years. And right there and then I had to accept the fact that, you know, things in my life is not going as well as it seemed. I don't have control over this anymore. What I thought was things was going liquor after I left RAEL, and I built myself up to a point. I was confident and everything, but as
Thanks,
soon as
Lloyd.
as soon as I picked up that drugs, it broke me right down again, and that's where it took me back down to my knees again, because and I had to make a decision. When the magistrate told me, "Look, you're going to a rail," I said, "You know what, hands up, I'm going." Accepted it. Now the other thing is, they say step one is we have to admit we're powerless.
Oh,
At that point, I was powerless. I
and you
admit
don't
it.
like being powerless, no?
Not at
'Cause
all.
you like
It's-
being in control.
I love being
you
in
still
control.
like being in
Still
control.
like being in control. That's why it's like my camera.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think I'm not even talking? You're talking most of the time, yeah, but it's lekker.
So let me just get back. I always got notes, right? So let me just get back to my notes here quickly. Yeah, so a few things that stood out to me on the day that I was booked in was something that and this is the point that I'm trying to come back to, man. Mr. Wall never
Evening,
judged
Windy.
me.
Thanks for
He
joining.
never judged me.
Auntie
He never,
Vanessa.
he never pointed a finger at me and said, you relapsed, you fucked up, you did this, you did that, and what made? He didn't crack me out, man. He said with open arms, Lincoln, welcome home. That's all he said, and if you're sitting coming out of a rehabilitation center, man, and you're thinking, what's the people gonna think of me if I come back?
What's he
What-
gonna think of me?
What's what? Wait, man. It's a personal joke, sorry. And if you're sitting there thinking, what is the people gonna think of me, man? I had so much clean time. I was my recovery. I was giving I was preaching recovery this, recovery that. Doing the cliches, talking the literature like it was nothing. Yes, I am a controller. Thank you, Andre. Thank you.
Nah, you're right, Richie. That's rehab talk, yeah.
all the rehab talk and stuff like that. And all that Mr. Wall said was, welcome home, Lincoln. That's all that he could say. That's all that he said. And he said, you know what? Now that you're gonna be here for 2 years, take things slowly, man.
How long?
2 years.
You got a court order.
Court order. You wanna know how long it was? 2 years. And look now, man. Yeah, I'm sitting a year later. You know what I mean? One thing I did decide to do when I walked in here the second time was to put the time on the back burner and let it burn me, and focus on my recovery. Full force. I decided to grab the opportunity, and Mr. Wall said, have patience, trust the process. And when I came back at RAEL the second time, I looked around and I saw the changes. I saw different people, obviously. Which is a good thing, because seeing the same people would mean that everybody relapsed. So I saw different people, and even now as myself and AD sit here, I think it was a day or two ago, or even today, we were sitting and we were looking back at the amount of people that has come, that's a year sober with us, man. If in the past, if I could count it on my 5 hands, that was a lot of people, but now we can count more than 5, man. And it goes to show that this program does work.
Correct, sir.
But it took a lot of work, man. And once again, every person's process is different. What AD went through this year and what I went through this year is completely different. Even though we stuck by each other throughout this whole year, I've seen faults in myself. I learned from AD's mistakes and my own mistakes and the mistakes of people around me, man. And it was lekker to spend this year with you, AD, man.
Lekker, yeah.
I know we've beat the wall,
At the same time,
and we're able to recognize it and grow from that, man. And that has helped us going forward to see each other's negative behavior, see each other's negative attitudes and changes. Okay, so that is all the notes that I've got for now.
Okay, now let's.
Yeah,
Is that your way of saying you're handing it over to me?
No, not that.
Okay.
I've still got a few
Carry
other
the
things.
defects here next to me, Mr. Controller.
I still got a few things that I want to say. You know what? The one thing that I also want to say is that have that boundary set in from the beginning, man. something that you know. What never worked for you the first time, make it work for you the second time. You know, to have the title broken service is not necessarily a bad.
Yeah.
It's something
More
that
experience. I've also
correct.
got broken service and AD and Lee Jason
Da, 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 da.
So having broken service does not have to
and
be
Michael.
part of everybody's process, but it is part of the process.
DJ, come out the camera, man. It's about us, not you.
Oh, where am I? Over there. I didn't even notice, you know.
And
Don't praise me anymore. I'm just there.
and yeah, no, so I just once again say thank you to Mr. Thank you to Mr. Schuler for placing that trust in me in me that they did for this year, man. You know, a lot when I came in here,
Rehab too, course.
not a lot of people had trust in me. Because of what I was doing, the lifestyle I was living, because of everything, nobody needed to have trust in me. Shit, I wouldn't trust myself if I had to walk in your house. I wouldn't trust myself. So, you know, they placed full trust
I
in
was,
me.
Richie. Do you remember that time when I was hiding away from you between the windy houses and you came to look for me? Where was I? And I'm saying, nah, I'm gonna come now. Then you found me in the room sleeping.
And you know what? That was the journey that we had to start when we came in here, man. It was hard because we didn't want to do I didn't want to do the things. Yeah, I thought I was better than anybody else here on the program because I've been through the school, man. But I had to humble myself again. I had to say, you know what? I have to accept that I don't know what sober living is about. Because the time that I was on the farm, there was no sober living. And obviously,
It's true, Auntie Michelle. That's why I'm letting him talk most of the time. He can give the meeting on his own. He's not talking about my life also.
and that, and you know what? I put a lot of work into this year, man. I was part of a lot of outside activity. Do a lot of things because I was willing. I was willing to let Mr. Schuler, let Mr. Wall teach me. Man. I was I was teachable, put it that way, and I learned a lot this year. But you know what? The journey still starts tomorrow morning when I wake up again, man. I still have to do the same thing I did the day I came in here. I have to have the same willingness. I have to have the same open-mindedness.
I'm trying to win there. I just can't. He just keep on
Hey,
going
wait, man.
on
Wait
and
your
on
turn.
and
Just
on.
Wait your turn. It's my turn. You see, you know, he doesn't want the light to shine on the
I
other
remember I
person.
almost cut his fingers off, yeah. I remember Gladwin with Jared, yeah, when he was working with me.
So, yeah, what was I saying now?
There we go. Is this your way of handing it over?
Yeah, go for it, bro. Go
No,
for it,
I
go
know,
for it,
speak
go for it.
finish,
I
speak it.
forgot what I was saying. I'll get back to it. What was I saying?
You were hopping on to the journey of how it was here and what you're busy doing and
Oh yes,
what people
and
need to think about and
and I have to do what I did I have to do the same thing I did the day I walked in here.
yeah.
I have to hand my will over every day to my higher power, to God, to say, you know what, God, I'm doing what you want me to do. Oh, I know with my last part. No, I'm gonna hand over to you
Okay.
shortly. Don't worry.
Okay.
So for the last part, what have I achieved this year, man? You know, a lot of people ask you, so what have you learned? You know, I've learned to have patience. Number one, you know, everything in its own time. There was a time I was jealous for AD because AD got a job. You know, AD got a job, but I'm 24 hours. How couldn't I get the job first? But here's the irony of it, man. You know, AD got the job. He's been working for a couple of months now. Even Grant got a job who came in, I think it was like a month after us.
Yeah.
Even he got a job before us. And I was like, oh, why does he get the opportunity when I'm here before him? You know what I mean? And that was answered to me about not a couple of weeks ago, man, when Mr. Wall gave me the opportunity to go study and become a carer, a caregiver, a
Lincoln,
carer.
proud of you for that.
Now here's the thing, man. You know, how can I be jealous for AD for getting a job when a different opportunity is waiting for me? And all I had to do was just practice that patience, man. And if I've gotten the job that AD got now, I would not have gotten the opportunity that Mr. Wall has presented to me now at this now. So everything in its own time, man. Some longer, some things happen overnight. No, like I said, once again, everybody's process is different. Some people don't need to relapse in order to have recovery. It's just part of my process, which is why I have broken service. And I'm gonna hand it over to
Yeah. You
yeah.
talk a whole hour already, man.
I don't know how long I was
Bastards.
talking for, but I'm gonna hand it over to Adi, and I'll.
Oh, you're gonna hand it over now.
I'm gonna hand it over now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What you got by giving it away?
Thank
For
you.
sure.
That is rehab talk. You can only keep what you have by giving it away. But
But you first have to have it.
I remember
thank
Mr.
you-
Schuler telling
Thank you,
me.
everybody that is online.
Are you
that-
gonna read the comments now and
Okay.
reply to the people?
Let
I
us
remember
see.
Mr. Schuler telling me when I came here the second time and I asked him for a certain recovery book called Sobriety and Beyond. Then he told me you first need to get sobriety
Before you can go beyond.
before you can go beyond. Lekker.
Definitely.
This
Welcome,
is
Mr. Schuler.
This is the
No,
man
no,
that
no, no. I'm just looking
you
at
know.
the
Just because
comments.
you're on the camera already, Mr. Schuler, I think the comments are gonna be coming through
No, I was just
Uh,
looking at the comments there.
because you are the meeting, sir.
I think the important thing is definitely Lincoln. You know, you came from prison. You're gonna start studying. It's been 1 year. You know, how quick did the years go by? When how quick did that 8 years go by?
Sure.
When you weren't, how quick, you know, in my relapses, because there's been a few because I didn't want to listen. In my relapses, it was a question of, you know, shit, I've been using for a month again already. Damn it, I'm in the shit, yeah.
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 Then you wipe your eyes out, you check, yeah, half the year's gone.
Gone already.
And a year goes so quick, but look how much has happened in a year.
Yeah.
I can remember AD coming in here a year ago, coming back after a fall, a year ago this time, and broken. Fuck. Complete. Oh shit. Sorry.
There's nothing wrong.
Completely. He was broken. Good evening, everybody. And you know what? I got one or two messages today. Actually, one specific there that says that we only help people selectively. Now, you know, this person, I said to them, I explained to them our situation that we've got 6 drug addicts, ex-drug addicts that are employed here full time, that 5 of them were on the streets before. Backies, contributing to being a menace to society, ripping communities apart, stealing, I almost said raping, robbing and stealing, but they weren't raping, they were just robbing and stealing because of their illness. There's another 6 that is either studying or working permanently in the town, okay, because this is a long-term thing. Now you judge something by the fruits that are coming from it.
Correct, sir.
And tonight I can proudly say that this is the fruits that is coming from us who work here. Or some call it work.
That's not a joke, sir.
But being busy with people that come from these backgrounds. Not bad people. Otherwise they wouldn't be here with me.
Yeah.
Because I don't hang with bad people anymore.
Mhm.
But people that had a bad problem. A bad problem. The same as Richie. I wouldn't speak to Richie if he was a bad person. A wrestler, but I tell you, wrestled him to the ground
Yeah.
in his own actions, and he stood up and he did do. And that is what we're doing here, man. We're spending 16, 18 hours a day trying to invest and work on people's lives, and the 3 or 6 months or a year dry
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
of their very life. We seen the other day Garth and Jared, that was a year sober.
Correct, yeah.
Clutchy and Gladwin,
That was a year sober.
that is also, Gladwin is also a year, eh?
Ryan.
Yes. Even Stank also.
Tank is a year, so.
Tank is over a year.
Angus is over a year.
Angus is over a year. Now I've got to witness a year with these people. Okay? They made me cuck tired sometimes.
Just a little bit.
I remember you telling me I became too needy.
But it's been worth it. It's been worth it. It's been worth it. And so like many other people, being a year sober, because addiction is real. People underestimate addiction. When parents say, he's just smoking weed, or he's just that.
Yeah, no.
Maybe. I had a desperate dad with me on the phone half an hour ago. I was gonna run this live recovery share from my phone, but I couldn't. I'm getting between 20 and a minimum of 20 calls a day. That's besides the WhatsApps, messengers, mails,
Silly season.
Sure.
and things. That is a state of needing help.
Mm.
And we can help them. But sometimes the families have terms and conditions. Sometimes the person addicted has terms and conditions. There's a path that we need to walk, man. And I lay down the path over here, and all that person needs to do is walk that path and accept that that is the path that they need to walk on.
Trust it.
And no addict is better than another.
Yes, sir.
But we need to live the spiritual principles. Otherwise, we go away for 3 weeks, AD. You know what I mean?
Was that me?
So I think, well done and congratulations to these guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Sugar.
sir.
Go. Now I'm not trying to, I don't need to try and promote or sell this organization. Not when I'm getting a minimum of 20 calls a day that starts at sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Like hi Wendy, sorry, and hi to everybody else that's watching. I was saying that I had a dad on the phone begging me, and he tells me, listen here in the background now, his son is going on. It's terrible, man. You can hear he's carrying on with his mother. And like Lincoln said, who's the first people that we phone, man?
Yeah.
Who's the first people that we look for when we come in through the gates here? Been making so much cuck, and then after a week or a month or 6 we think that those people have just gotten over it, when we're the ones that have gotten the privilege to work on ourselves. There's no hard work on the farm here.
No,
The hardest thing is working on yourself and changing.
True,
Because
sir.
even for people without a substance abuse problem, I challenge you to yourself to try and change something about yourself. Not the drugs we put down when we come in by the gate. And this dad was in pain.
Shame.
You can hear how this oak's going on in the background with his mother. Went with his mother to the shop today and slipped out and bought 2 nippies. A nippy's a half jack of small bottles of booze.
Sure.
That's only alcohol.
And it's these very people, parents cannot compromise their boundaries. Not because we're bad people, but because if the addiction in me gets another option, choice or gap to go through, it's going to widen the gap.
Correct, sir.
It's going to widen the gap, and it's going to promote a believable, manipulative something in my mind that makes me think it's going to work, and then I'm going to try and convince Mal or my mother or whoever is close to me that this is going to work. And I will believe in my mind that I'll even think that it's going to work. Because we're dealing with addiction.
Yeah.
Cunning, baffling, and powerful.
So when I see the guys come back, like I think Clutchy's coming the weekend, Gladden was here, me and Richie keep on missing each other. There's a couple more. Jared I seen, Carl Richardson, I seen him a year last, he was 6 years sober. Freddie I seen not so long ago. And there's a couple of other names, Andrew Pink and Calvin Foss,
Yeah.
Justin Portgieter visiting. Yeah, must
Really?
come and join us New Year's, man. It's silly season coming up now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I can hear the nerves of the parents in the calls, man. It's part of what keeps me going.
Correct, sir.
'Cause when I got back here, I was petrified of myself. So well done, Oaks. You know, I really hope that your message of your background, not our war stories, man, made shit. We've been through shit and we've hurt and put other people through shit. But maybe recovery is also just partly growing up a bit as well.
Please, Mr. Schuler.
Maybe it's taking responsibility. Maybe it's accepting things and not expecting things.
Yes, sir.
And not pushing to get our last way with everybody. It used to be normal to me when I was a teen up to sort of start looking after yourself at 18. But this addiction made so much cuck, I started expecting my mother to still be looking after me at 27, man.
Correct, sir.
Then I went and made my wife to be. I'm getting married on the 28th of November.
Congratulations.
Hardcore.
Nice,
Hardcore.
nice.
I can't be that bad if somebody wants to marry me. Then I went and made my fiance's life a nightmare, and I became one of her children, in a sense. I needed to be looked after. I couldn't look after myself, man. And I was still in the delusion and the victim and the self-pity that is what must take place. And only until all strings attached were cut and I had to take responsibility for myself and make progress and not repeat the same shit, man. Get to a certain point and fuck up.
Yeah.
To break the cycle.
Break the cycle. And sometimes the cycle is a long time.
It is. See
But
the-
okay, now you're meeting guys.
No,
This is the
Mr. Schuler.
fruits of recovery that I'm seeing here.
Sir.
The names and faces and the orange ribbons and the it's you guys that are watching that have spread the orange ribbons that people go onto the pages. What is this orange ribbon?
About
They
yeah.
can identify with the posts and the pain and things like that. That allows them the opportunity to call us and relieve them of the pain of some of the parents that is watching the pain that they've been just that little bit relieved of.
Yeah.
Because normally it's the mothers crying, but I'm so touched by that. That's a grown man.
You being offered an Audi for your wedding, sir? That's hardcore. Do you need an Audi for your wedding? That's different level, Carl.
Okay. Alternatively, I could get a limo from Clutchy.
You can get the Audi and the limo, sir. I think that's your phone, Mr.
Okay.
Schuler.
But anyways, this is the fruits.
Thank you, Mr. Schuler.
Thank you, Mr. Schuler. Yeah, there you've heard
Was I
it
still
all.
speaking already?
I don't know, hey, Lincoln. Casty, I'm gonna move out of the camera here.
No, you can come stay here with me.
Okay, can I
It
can I
makes me
come
look
in?
better.
Lekker, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna even tell my story because why? Most of you know it already. Everything that Lincoln spoke about was exactly me as well. Coming through the gates, pain. I was in pain. Man. I was broken. I had no self-confidence. When I was angry, I was running on false pride. I was running on self-will. I was in denial. I didn't really want to be here, but I knew it's where I needed to be as well. And yeah, I mean, it's this place is not a rehabilitation for me, man. This is my home. This has become my home. These people that run the home is my family. Oh, Mr. Schuler, with the leadership, each and every person. This is the people I can depend on when I'm in any situation, whether things are going good or even bad. They stand by me 100%. 120%. Helped me through my struggles. It was difficult for me in the beginning when I came back the second time, like Lincoln said. Very difficult. The hardest part a person had to do was to work on myself. Now I've learned to love myself. And just because I'm 1 year sober doesn't mean I've made it.
Yep.
I've learned a very big lesson because of my relapse. It brought out a more vigorous application to my program that I have to work each and every day. I was emotional this morning when I woke up. I was in tears in bed. Because to be honest, I never believed I would have made it to a year again.
Second time.
The second time around, you know. And the time has by. But the hard work is gonna start for me now eventually. You know, now the hard work has to start for me and Lincoln. Now we have to be much more vigilant than what we were before. We cannot afford to get complacent. Apathy and procrastination will take away what we've worked so hard for to get where we are today. It's gonna take it all away. And these angers at the back, my blessed brother, always constantly reminding me what I need to do and not drop the ball. I love that about us. We can tell each other bush. It's principles before personality. It's hard love for one another here. To tell each other straight where we are at and where our faults are at and what we need to do to work on ourselves.
Yes, Carl. You're
And
all
what
right.
about the family back at home? That is correct, yes, Carl. You stood by me. You still standing by me. But it had to get to the point where the door also had to be closed for me because of my self-destructive behavior, of the manipulation, the lies, and the harm I was causing to you guys. I thank my mother for having that tough love towards me to close that door. To tell me straight, it's either I'm going to put you in
I'll see you
prison
next week, Richie.
or, you know, you sort yourself out. Even still this day, me and my mother had a conversation in the week where she was saying, you know, it's always about the addict, about the addict, about the addict, which is fine and okay when the addict is in recovery, but what about the parents and the loved ones also that doesn't have experience on how to help the addict? You know, there's a program they also need to set into, or some sort of guidance they need to set into on how to help us as well, you know. And there's Tank over there, somebody wanted to see
Another
Tank,
year
you've seen
sober.
him. Another year sober there as well. Yeah, you know, it's amazing for me to be sitting here this evening and to be carrying the message to everybody. And love to the family, love to the people that supports RAEL and what RAEL stands for. Thank you, Mr. Hall, that the door was open for me when I came here. Thank you for your hard hand that you had on me, that you still have on me. Thank you, Mr. Schuler, for telling me, AD, look here, you need to find your own way to get back to the farm. You are willing enough to go the extra mile to get your fix. What are you going to do to save your life? I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget the testimony I
that
went
one.
through to get here, the effort that I had to put in. I'm not going to afford to throw this away for anything. My son's not going to keep me sober. A girlfriend is not going to keep me sober. I've learned my lesson over there. A job is not going to keep me sober because social acceptability does not equal recovery. I cannot put anything else first. My recovery has to come first, and my recovery is based on my spiritual condition and my relationship with God. And that's why I was emotional this morning. It's in His mercy that I'm sitting here, not because of what I've done, but because of what He's done. This seat that me and Lincoln is sitting in this evening is blood paid by someone that didn't have the opportunity that we have this evening. Hey? So a slap in that person's face would be not to make the best of this opportunity. Like we are now. And it's been a lekker journey to walk with you still, Lincoln. I'm looking forward to many more journeys still coming ahead as well. Each and every person that walked this journey with us. It's a never-ending journey. The best part about it is that I have the right support, the proper support around me, the connection that I have around me that's with me on this path. I no longer feel trapped. My chains are gone. The best part of me waking up in the morning is having that peace and that serenity.
We need
I'm not being controlled.
a rail for parents. A rail is for...
No, RAEL stands for parents and everything. That is correct, Auntie Michelle. We support parents and everybody. RAEL reunites us back with our family. This is what this place does. For the hard devotions we used to have, Richie, with Auntie Karen in the morning. Thank you to Auntie Karen also for her love and support, for having a door open, and for everything and the work that she done on this farm. I'll never forget her devotions times. I'll never forget her love for God and what she's done for me as well. And how she taught me how to praise and worship, how to go on my knees, how she taught me about God, how her devotions was, how she spiritually guided me in the tunnels when she was working there as well. I'll never forget those conversations that we had as well. Thank you to Mr. Hall as well for everything that he's done. Thank you to Mr. Schuler once again as well. There's no amount of thanks that I can give. I think the only thing I can do now for me to say thank you is for me to on this road of recovery. I can't pay back the money. I can't pay back anything. I can't buy anything. It's in my actions that I show that I'm grateful. And I think me and Lincoln has proven in our actions how grateful we are for what RAEL has done for us. That the doors was open for us the second
And you
time.
get the rewards.
We get the rewards.
It takes, but
It
you
takes
get the
time.
rewards.
Eventually we do get it.
It's
you
not
know?
gonna happen overnight.
And now that the floodgates are open, we have to be ready for it when it comes. You know? And now that we all of the success stories that you hear, it's not only me and Lincoln, there's many others as well. There's many others as well, you know?
Yep.
And like I said, this is a place of spiritual healing. That's what I found here, man. I'm so at peace and content with what I have now. I'm not worried about what I don't have. And I have faith in what is still about to come. It doesn't end just here for us. There's no the ball can't just stand here. Okay, we have Mr. Schuler with us over here.
No, carry on.
We have to lift out every time. We have to push ourselves and put that effort in and set the bar higher for us. And I think me and Lincoln has learned a very good lesson out of this relapse that brought out a jarring experience for us, because a relapse kills people. Like I said, the seed is blood paid. It's sitting here this evening. Blah 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 blah. I can liquor. And because of that, because of grace that we are sitting here this evening, we cannot take it for granted. That one last drug, that one last drink is an arm length away from us that can kill us. The self-destructive behavior that comes with it as well, the manipulation, and all the other character defects that go. But you know what now? What sobriety has given me everything that drugs and alcohol has promised me, and I think Lincoln can say the same as well.
For sure.
And it's only a healing process. There are some days that I go through where I feel, yes, it's not liquor and what's not going on, but thank God that I have a program to fall back on to help me get through it. You know, I like the Audi S3, Carl. You can give it to me because I'm your cousin, and yeah, that's it. I want the Golf. Give me the 2-liter. Yeah. Anyway, you know, I'm not gonna speak about my story and everything like that. I'm just grateful that I'm in recovery. Everything, like I've said, while I was in sobriety has paid off for me. I'm the best person that I can be, and I'm happy with who I am. I love myself. I understand myself much more. I know who I am in Christ as well. Lincoln loves singing. Anybody want to hear Lincoln sing? I told him I'm going to put him on the spot. So if you want to hear Lincoln sing, just comment there and I'll let Lincoln sing to close off the meeting. But yeah, there's just something short I want to read out of the
Bible.
the basic text, you know. And this is like the Bible of recovery. This and the big book of AA. And it says that just the last part about it. Recovery as experienced through the 12 steps is our goal, not mere physical abstinence. Drug is not what the accomplishment is here. Recovery for us is working on the character defects that we have, knowing that it can be arrested, the lies that we've stopped, the manipulation that we've put aside, the whole perspective of how we changed our lifestyle. To improve ourselves takes effort, and that's what it takes each and every day. Just because me and Lincoln is 1 year sober doesn't mean it stops here. Now the hard work has to stop, like I said, and it's gonna take effort for us to put that in.
And we didn't get here sleeping.
We didn't get here sleeping. You can't sleepwalk your way through to the point where we are now. And since there's no way in the world to graft a new idea on a closed mind, an opening must be made somehow. And I think that opening has been made after our hard knock that we've had. We've humbled ourselves. I had to be humiliated to be humbled. And we've humbled ourselves before the program. We did our program, we applied our program. The minute we walked in that gates, we knew what is at stake, and we still do know what is at stake. It's not games that we're playing with here. This disease that we are battling with is cunning, baffling, and powerful, but also patient, and it can creep in at any time, anytime. That's why it's like us going to war. We have to always arm ourselves. Like it says in the book of Ephesians, we have to wear that full armor of God, because we know what we are up against over here. And that new idea on an opening must be made somehow. So since we can do this only for ourselves, we need to recognize two of our seemingly inherent enemies, and that is obviously the apathy and the procrastination. We cannot afford to get complacent. Complacent kills us. Thinking that we know this, thinking that we've accomplished it, thinking that we've made it. You've never made it in recovery. You've never made it. And our resistance to change seems built in, and the only nuclear boss of some kind will bring about an altered course of action. A relapse, if we survive it, this is what happened to me and Lincoln. A relapse, like we survived it, may provide the charge of a demolition process. A relapse and sometimes subsequent death of someone close to us can do the job of awakening us to the necessity of a vigorous personal action. And that's why we're very vigilant in our program that we work. We can only keep what we have with vigilance. That's it. And that's all I want to say from my side. I'm not going to talk too much like Lincoln did, because it seems like he bought airtime, and on top of that airtime got 3 minutes, and he's still running on Wi-Fi. So he's on a different level. But that's all I can say from my side. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful. I encourage parents.
Ryder is on the farm, Andre.
He is on the farm, yeah. I encourage parents to that doesn't know about this addiction, and maybe they have a suspicion about their child busy with something, and you might think, he's only smoking weed, or he's only having one drink. Get in much more deeper with it, and get to know your child. Get to know how you can help him already. Because I tell you now one thing, once that gap is open, this disease really kills. It destroys you. It doesn't ask what color you are. It's addiction that we're dealing with here. Very, very cunning, baffling, and powerful disease, and it does kill. So yeah, that's all I want to say from my side. Thank you for the love and the support that's at home.
Thank you, guys.
I love my son to bits, and I'm sure Lincoln does also.
I do.
We miss our son, but we know the only way that we can be very good fathers to our sons is for us to be here and to do our
small sacrifice, a very small sacrifice of your life for the rest of your life.
For sure, yeah.
To be successful once again. I'm sure you've tasted success a few times.
Of course,
and now a year later, I'm being presented opportunities that would have never been presented to me had I still have been using.
For sure, yeah.
You know, you never know what God has in plan for us. But like Adi said earlier, we have to be willing, and the floodgates are open. So when it opens up, you know, you have to be ready. And the time that we were using was our training ground. We're now ready to face life on life's terms in all essence. There will still be challenges. There will still be obstacles that will come across our way. But you know what? I think for myself, you know, I can't say I'm ready for every challenge that life has to throw for me, because I don't know what life has in store for me yet. But I have a support structure which I can fall back on, a program like Adi always says, that I can use to get me over those obstacles. And yeah, you know, both of us have been in an unfortunate position where we never saw our family this year. I had a family visit on one after my first 4 months here. I've had one visit in the time that I've been here, and on that visit, I took advantage of spending as much time as I could with my child. You know, I used that visit to the best of my ability. Not best of, I used it to all my advantage. To bond with my parents. You know, spend time. And it was for me, man. It was more for my family.
Yeah.
You know, like Eddie said, they also in recovery, and they also need time to heal. A lot of damages, of course, you know, over the years, and I'm glad that I'm able to once again break that cycle, man. There's a saying that AD always uses. I use AD's name a lot, for some reason. I think he talks more than me. I just learned a lot from him. There's a saying a saying that he always uses. Look, I forgot the saying. I heard it a second ago. Does it say break the cycles? Shit, man. Yeah, I forgot it again.
That's alright.
And that is because of all the drugs I use. You know what I mean?
Pride.
Bro.
That's why he still needs to be here, because he's cooked. Not only is he on a court order because he is here. How many more
Fried.
weeks?
Who's counting? 52 weeks. Right?
Okay.
But who's counting? Hey? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna say good night to everybody. Thank you for the love and the support. Thank you for what RAEL stands for. Thank you that the doors of RAEL is always open, not only for us, but for the struggling addict, the addict that's still outside there that doesn't know which way to go. Thank you for the hard support that we get from the RAEL members of Mr. Hall and Mr. Schuler. For you, Mr. Hall, thank you for what you're standing for and what you're doing out there for our country, sir. Thank you that you're busy saving our nation, sir. We love you here back at home. We stand behind you 100%, sir. Thank you, Mr. Schuler, for the way you run this house, for the way you are on this farm, for who you are. Thank you for always carrying the message wherever you go. Even though there's sometimes that you feel, yes, you can't anymore. You push yourself. Thank you that you put yourself last and you put everybody else always first. And I pray and I bless your wedding that's still about to come. I bless your family as well, sir. Thank you that you also play a very big role in my recovery. You and Melanie, I want to say thank you to the both of you guys, and Auntie Vanessa as well. And that's all from my side. I love everybody that has watched, and we're gonna say good night. Night, guys.
Good night, everybody. Push the button.
I'm trying.